know what it is. So I'm going to the store, right? And I walk across the street, get my coffee like always. Forget to get it, come back. As I'm coming back and setting up the phone, I look in the street and I see that crow eating something. So I'm like, the fuck's that? Next thing I notice, I guess it's a squirrel or some shit like that. That's a sign. You know how I know? Cause 8 months, 9 months ago, I seen a fucking hawk, a big ass hawk. I go to work and it was eating a squirrel on top of the fucking light pole, right? Like on top of one of them light poles, right? And it's ripping this thing to shreds, and I'm sweeping the floor, and I noticed there's like shit falling down, so I'm like, the fuck is this shit? And I see that it's fur. So I look up and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? That's the biggest bird. That ain't normal. And so long story short, you know, I had to talk to somebody about it, and then I go home, I put a video on, and the fucking first video I put on randomly was a video that says something about hawks and how they're special. And I said, alright, we know we don't know exactly how the Lord does these things, but well, let's look something up. So I look something up, boom, as soon as I look it up, I'm like, oh shit. And as I'm watching that, it made me think about what happened at work, because I forgot. I went home, you know what I mean? It was back when I was working super hard every day. I used to go home and go to sleep and wake up till the next day and go to work and shit, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be out here right now. And it was crazy, because then I put the master videos up and told my story of how I seen it, and it was like all this different stuff about, like, yeah, that's a sign of, you know, it's some old Native American legend that I found, and it was saying about how it's good luck, and it's good luck, but it's bad luck because it's a sign that you got enemies. You got real enemies. But it's good because if you see it destroying the thing, you know, then it means, you know, that your angel is rolling with you and ready to go. So this was right around, I think right around that time was right before I started, you know, stunting. I think I just started stunting and everything on niggas, but I wasn't really, you know, I wasn't understanding a lot of things. I wasn't, like I said, we all learning, right? I'm showing people what I do know and the things I learned. So it's very a coincidence. I don't control animals, do I? You know what I mean? So I been listening to the readings. Y'all been listening with me now. And if y'all ain't been hearing repeatedly, oh, you're gonna see birds, you're gonna be around a lot of birds, and then they always talk about how the crow is a sign of something, crow is a sign of something. Now, me being the person that I am, or the Most High, or whatever life did to me at a young age, I was in the very good dark and light type movies. Like, I don't know if any of you guys ever heard of the movie The Crow with Brandon Lee. You know, how I always talk about how I love Bruce Lee. Well, his son wanted to be a movie karate star too, and he made a movie named The Crow. And I seen the go watch the movie and you'll understand. And see, I'm just freestyle talking and doing this shit. Like, anyway, that movie this guy was in love, right, with this woman. He was madly in love with her. They were young, blah, blah, blah. So these old hating ass niggas kill him. And then he comes back to life. And he hunts them all down. And he takes revenge for killing his girl and him. But like he had like special power. He had a bunch of powers, really, like. But it was very weird. It was like he had regeneration powers. They were shooting this guy, and he was like healing himself, and he was like throwing himself off buildings, and he was healing them. Like a lot of crazy stuff. And the one thing I do remember is that this crow used to follow him around, and he used to be able to look through the eyes of the crow. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I was like, yo, that's dope. Imagine you could do that. Like, you could see, you could be somewhere, but not you ain't there. You know what I'm saying? And so I know about you wicked ass niggas and your wicked ass shit. I don't know exactly everything, because I ain't study all that. I ain't want to be a Sith Lord. I wanted to be a Jedi. But like I said, Master Windu, he learned of the Sith powers, and then he said, I'm going to take their power and use it against them. So I know certain things. So me seeing that's, it was destroying something. And like I always say, I'm here to go to the wheels fall off, because what else am I going to do? I have to live, and I am tired of being silenced. I'm tired of not being able just to talk. What is it about me talking that's so bad? Why is everybody trying to stop me from talking? Why does everybody want me to not? If I'm so wrong, why is all these things happening? All the hacking. I'm getting readings now where, like I say, I don't like to sound the horns. I don't like to name these people. I don't like to name certain things, because my father didn't come. He didn't bring me here so I could talk about them people. Everybody else could do that. Who's running the show and how much power people have, and I don't care about none of that. None of that shit matters to me. Why? Because it's in the book. It talked about those people already. It talks about all of this. And when I talked about them on my other channels, my channels went bye-bye. So I know that's not a part of my mission. Because all I did was do the same thing I'm doing now. Show videos of what other people say. Because I was learning it. I didn't get to talk about, oh, the Bible says this and the Bible says that. No, I was like, yo, this is crazy, blah, blah, blah. You got to look into these things. And it seems biblical, because all the things they say, these conspiracy theory people, the thing they never notice is all the conspiracies and stuff, like, just judge them to the laws of God. How many of these things make you not do it? How many of these things draw you away from it? You see, that's what nobody talks about. They talk about how they're trying to make us into bad people, and you have a choice. Your mother's trying to make you a bad person. Your friends are trying to make you bad people. So I'm not worrying about some people wherever they are. So I don't care about talking about them, because the things they do or people accuse them of, your fucking friends do that to you. People out there talking about MK Ultra and all this brainwashing and shit, and and I'm looking at niggas like, yo, do you realize that your friends do this to you? You do realize that's what pure pressure is, right? The teen years when everybody gangs up on you, you pussy, you scared. They're brainwashing you, and what are they telling you to do? Usually something that is bad, right? You pussy, you don't want to do it. Smoke this, drink that, fuck her, throw a rock at the window, and all these things. These are all, do you understand that's why I wear the yin and yang? There's only one and two sides, and your actions determine where you are. All your talk and your fancy clothes mean nothing. And anyway, Like, I was listening to some dude the other day, and he was bringing up the ancient tablets about, I think, Samaria and all that stuff. Yeah, you already know, man. And I was just noticing certain things and stuff, and I made a video about it, and then I erased it because I don't know. Like, I do that a lot. If I watch somebody's video and I do a video on it, and then I do what I do and go look up more shit about it before I put it up as the video's coming out, as I'm putting it out, and then I learn things about what you said and it sounds crazy or whatever, then I'm not gonna put your shit out because I don't want to be tied to nobody I think is lost. It's not about being crazy. Oh, he's crazy, he thinks this. People are trying to figure things out. Of course you're going to appear to be crazy sometimes. You're going to be wrong about things. You're going to say things, and then you're going to learn, and then you're going to be like, oh, I was wrong. Well, let me say this now, because this is the truth that I've learned. And, you know, he was saying a bunch of, like, really good stuff. And, it kind of made me thinking, like, oh, like, because people always say things about my father's, the book. And they always say, like, oh, yeah, the ancient text and is older, predated before the Bible, so why y'all believe in that? And I'm like, yo, the Bible said that. So y'all gotta stop with that. Like, if y'all want to prove, listen, y'all gotta understand that the book, you could say it's fake, right? Are the laws fake? You could say Jacob fake. Is being a good man fake? Is respecting your fucking elders fake? Is learning to take a shit and bury it in the ground, is that fake? Huh? Is it? Is dietary laws and all the food laws and scientists are finding out and health people are teaching you to do this shit, but they don't call it the Leviticus laws. So it's not working. It's not good though, right? Fuck the book. It's made up. It's fake stories. But the information's good. You see why they say spit out the bones, but eat the meat? That's what that means. Find the good stuff and then put it with other good stuff and make your own book. If you believe that book's not real. You know what I mean? Because we're all in the search of the truth. And that's what I do. Except I keep showing how people say things and then I go and show the book and be like, it did say that. You just don't understand it. That's what it is. You don't understand. Sorry if I'm getting a little Vegeta, but you know, fucking pissed off, man. The adversaries the readings say I gotta face now is, man, I'm like, shit, this is really, well, you did ask to work for the Most High, so, you know, can't play Batman forever and beat up fucking petty criminals. Take down fucking arch villains and nemesis. This is real life. When the Most High calls you, you don't know what mission you're on. You just do the work. And that's it. Anyway, so this guy was talking about the tablets, and he said something about how that there are more than one, like there are gods. And the gods were having this big contest, and there's female gods and male gods, and that there's like feminism broke out, or whatever that word is that divides us into this, the gender war, that's what it's called. So there was like a god gender war, and sound the horns, shit, nigga must be right on something, because that led me to something I wrote years ago. But I ain't gonna put that out there. That's gonna be one of my best episodes ever, unless these niggas get rid of me. Anyway, So, thank you for putting this out because I heard of the ancient wars. Like the Hindus, their religion is literally, they talk about it the most, that there's a heavenly war and shit. How it was in space, like right here, and all of these different things. And then George Lucas, the guy that made Star Wars, how I keep pointing at my hat, he said, yeah, I studied religions and I borrowed a couple things. I wonder where the fuck he got Star Wars from. Why do you think I use it and point to my hat? Because it's Heaven Wars, get it? And anyway, so there's this like contest to make life or whatever and prove that you're the better of the man or woman. And one of the gods made like a test tube baby, you know what I mean? And claimed he's the shit. And then the woman gods, they eventually made a baby too, but they didn't use the men. Just like the men didn't use the women didn't use the men. Now, it explains that this god angel thing used devices and things. He did like science and made Frankenstein and shit or something. But the woman angel god thing, she did something else and made herself pregnant, you know what I'm saying, without the use of like sperm. So isn't that in the Bible? There's somebody really special everybody loves that didn't have a human father. Everybody seems to love that guy, right? Mom, I don't got no daddy, no human my daddy. My daddy is the big dog. Ain't that in the book? Right? See, the older texts, the people that believe or whatever they go to, the Bible is stolen. They took this information and then they ran with it, you know what I'm saying? And then they made their own thing off it. Now, I tried to believe that myself when I was very early into this because, like I said, I didn't believe in the Bible neither. Like everybody else, I was like, yo, I grew up on this shit, and nah, man, I ain't anybody teaching me nothing. I don't even understand this motherfucking thing. And when I ask motherfuckers about it, they ain't coming up with no answers. They ain't never got no answers. So, anyway, like it had me thinking. Like, what else did you learn about the Bible that would describe that, what he was talking about in the old tablets? And I remember I found a hidden book of Thomas, or maybe it was, I think it was Thomas or one of them shits. And in it talked about the heaven realm and how there was gods and angels, that because you should understand that angels are gods. You get it? There's levels to this shit. Like, an angel's better than a man, so it can come down and beat the shit out you, and it has all this knowledge because it's been there with the Father. Get it? So they're like a god to us, but then there's the one that's behind them, the one. Get it? So this is where I connect all the stories of all around the world and all the religions, how they always talk about, we have 20 gods over here and we believe in this, and there's always more than one. And then in all these books and everything, even though there's multiple gods, there's always the one. And as this man was explaining about the tablets, the male gods and the female gods, they went and presented their baby thing or whatever to the Most High God to say like, yo, who better? Look, this is because it was about rulership, who was going to rule Earth or something like that. And I didn't get to watch all of it because I fell asleep, so I'm going to have to watch more before I run my mouth. But I don't run my mouth against anybody. I don't try to pop shit and say niggas is wrong. No, I just compare everything to the Bible and say, stop saying that it's not in the Bible when there are hidden books. They're called hidden books because people don't want us to know. And then if there are hidden books, then that means they never took things, like people always say, the Bible's not complete, I can't trust it. It's not complete because they took shit out of it. Dumb. And the shit that I keep finding that's called hidden books and all these other things about that they don't say hidden books in there. Other, like the Apocrypha and all these other things, and I start learning things and I'm like, wait up, yeah. Like when you learn these other things, you don't know if they're true or not. But then when I hear people talk about the ancient texts or other religious things and it fills in the gaps of the questions we have about this book. And then they try to trick us. Like, look, my book talk about these things. Your book don't even explain how. Blah, 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 blah. And I be like, listen, dog. I ain't beef for that shit. Listen, I ain't beef for that. Anyway. But in the hidden book, it said the same type of thing, that there was like this angel woman god, but it wasn't a contest. It was like she had the power to create and understood that the gods, the angel things, they created together like we do. There is no creating just immaculate. The Most High is the immaculate one. He can do that. No one else. That's his great power. That's why he's the one, because he is the yin and the yang. You get it? We're the dots. He is the whole force. And so it said that in the hidden book that the woman angel thing, everybody was making the angel babies and the angels, because there's all these levels of heaven, and in these levels of heaven there's like places and there's judges and they need to be ruled and all these things. Like heaven's not just one room or some shit. You people got to understand, when you read this book, there's talking about levels, and if there's levels, that means like dimensions. Like, you know how there's the big ass earth and there's all this space? Well, then that means heaven's bigger than this, and it's a whole big ass space, but there's multiple layers. You get it? And if it's bigger than this, then you don't think the Most High got a special place for everybody? A day after you get judged for your actions down. You really believe this? We have law and judge each other, and if you do bad things, you go to places. You don't think? Come on, man. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to this lesson. So, this angel thing wanted to create without the man too. Angel, the spirit of the man, and it created this baby. I forget the name and all this, and when she did it, there was something wrong with it though, because she created it without the other spirit, yin and yang. So this new life form only had one of the parts of the Most High. So that's like having half your fucking brain and shit, half the truth, half you know what I mean? But you're made of a goddess, a being of light and all this. So you're gonna be like, you're still super demigod. But there's no such thing as a man yet, so you're not a demigod. You're just God, but half of it. You don't got no demi. You're just half a G. Right? So as she does this though, she gets scared, because this thing like had shape-shifting powers or something automatically, and got scared and turned into a snake. And then she makes this cloud or something, and she puts it over it, and because she doesn't want the other gods to see this mistake that she just created. And maybe she get in trouble, or a man or a woman, when you do some bad stuff and daddy doesn't know, and you messed up his favorite shoes and shit, don't you get scared and you gotta think like, should I tell him? Oh, I gotta hide this. What did Adam and Eve do when they broke the rules? They tried to fucking hide it. So she creates like a world or something, and she puts him in this new world dimension or something, and he starts to believe that he's God, because when he never got to see her or something or whatever, when he wakes up in this world, he's the only thing there. It is nothing. There's just him. And then he starts to create life. And it talks about how this fake God is like bad. And that's something else that I never got to finish watching and learning about because the shenanigans. But we're going to keep talking about that